We now formally commence the African School of Governance MPA Pioneer Cohort Matriculation Ceremony. Once again, my name is John Ayoma. I'm from Ghana, and I'm also the Student Council Vice President. I will be your host this morning. We are honored to welcome our distinguished guests of honor who have joined us to witness this historic milestone. Their presence underscores the significance of this moment in African governance education. Therefore, we now invite to the podium Professor Amani El-Sharif, Vice President of Academic Affairs at the African School of Governance, to deliver the welcome remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Amani El-Sharif.
Well, Your Excellency, President Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Your Excellency, Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and the Chairman of the AAG Governing Board, Honorable members of the Diplomatic Corps, AAG Board members, dear colleagues and guests, and most especially, dear pioneer cohort of the African School of Governance Master of Public Administration program. Good morning. It's my profound honor to welcome you to the historic matriculation ceremony of the African School of Governance here in Rwanda's vibrant capital, the destination of serene beauty, Kigali. Ladies and gentlemen, today is far more than a ceremony. It's a rite of passage and a profound commitment to serve Africa, the continent with the youngest population, where investment in its youth is the best strategic investment in our future. Guided by this truth, I am honored to share with you few messages. First message to the pioneer cohort. Students, you are chosen not just for your excellence, but for your potential in building and shaping African future. Today, your matriculation marks more than an enrollment. It's your formal commitment to learn deeply and to challenge confidently and to turn African future to a better future. Dear students, serve Africa with integrity. In the years ahead, you will sharpen your skills to turn ideas into meaningful impact. My advice to you, embrace rigorous inquiry, value diverse perspectives, and always remember, your attitude will determine your altitude. Thank you. In ESG, leadership is taught through connection and collaborations, paving the way for you to achieve the Africa we want, the Africa we deserve. To our esteemed faculty, staff, executive, all the team of AAG, if you can rise to receive my message. You are ASG heroes. Thank you. Thank you for the dedication and support. Actually, your support and dedication and efforts do more than teach. They transform. Thank you for mentoring such a student with a passion, and also for shaping ethical, practical leaders who can drive Africa forward to its deserve its future. Thank you. You can sit. And to our incredible partners, especially the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore and MasterCard Foundation. Your belief in us empowers us to deliver a world-class education, one deeply rooted in African soil and shaped by African realities and designed to compete on the global stage. And for all our distinguished guests, thank you. Thank you for your presence here today in support of the African future leaders. We encourage you to engage with our students. Today, your wisdom can illuminate their path, and in turn, they will shape a brighter future for all of us. So, let's walk this transformative journey together. And finally, to our visionary co-founders, who offer our deepest gratitude. Thank you for seeing a future for Africa that didn't exist. Thank you for having the courage, the foresight, and the unwavering faith to build the institution that would make that future possible. Thank you for founding the African School of Governance. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, this is the end of my messages. Thank you, and please enjoy the ceremony. John? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor El Sharif, for those inspiring words that captured the essence of our academic mission and the transformative journey our students are embarking upon. Thank you. Next, we are deeply honored to receive a goodwill message from a leader whose vision and commitment to education have been transformational. As a co-founding partner, the MasterCard Foundation has worked alongside ASG Foundation to invest in Africa's next generation of leaders by bringing the co-founders' vision of ASG to life. Guided by its Young Africa Work strategy, the MasterCard Foundation is committed to enabling 30 million young people, particularly young women, to access dignified and fulfilling work opportunities by 2030. Transformational leadership and good governance are critical enablers of this ambition, making this partnership with ASG so important. We are privileged this morning to hear from Ms. Rita Roy, President and CEO of the MasterCard Foundation, whose message to the inaugural class reflects this strong partnership and shared mission. May I now invite us all to turn our attention to the screen.
Your Excellency President Paul Kagame, Your Excellency Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, board members of the African School of Governance and of the African School of Governance Foundation, distinguished guests, partners and friends, to this inaugural class of the Masters in Public Administration. Congratulations and welcome. What a remarkable group you are. Each of you has traveled a unique path to get here, from 14 countries, from many different cultures and backgrounds. You've lived in refugee settlements and rural areas and big cities alike, and yet here you are to form a single exceptional community of leaders. Today marks a pivotal moment, not just for the African School of Governance, but for Africa's future leaders. This flagship master's program is designed to cultivate new mindsets, advanced skills, and a network for public leadership, grounded in African realities and in global best practices. This institution is here to cultivate, nurture ethical leaders who will promote peace and prosperity across Africa, who will promote and advance innovative solutions and global competitiveness. One thing we have in great abundance across Africa is our diversity. And indeed, the more diverse we are, the more capable we are of generating ideas, solving problems that we face as a continent, but also problems that the world faces. You're here because you're on a special assignment. It's an assignment of purposeful, transformative leadership. You're here to really harness, unlock the promise of our continent. And you're here to hold up this Pan-African vision. So seize this moment. Make friends and lean on each other. Form a support system across this network, across your faculty, with your mentors, and with the people who believe in you. We're so proud at the MasterCard Foundation to stand alongside all of you, to invest in this institution. We're really proud and we're honored to co-partner with the co-founders of this remarkable institution, Their Excellencies President Kagame and Prime Minister Desalegn. We're investing in this institution. We're investing in you because we're investing in Africa's future. And this continent deserves leaders who can shape the future. So make us proud. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Rita Roy, for your inspiring message and for the MasterCard Foundation's unwavering commitment to advancing African leadership through education. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we will now welcome our guest of honor, His Excellency, President Paul Kagame, to deliver his keynote remarks. Your Excellency, we are truly honored and privileged to hear from you this morning.
Please. Thank you. Seated. Excellency, Herr Mariam Desalegn, co-founder and chairman of the SG Board of Directors, board members of the African School of Governance, members of the Diplomatic Corps, faculty, students, and parents, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This institution, which was once just an idea, is now alive because of you. I thank you, my brother, His Excellency Haile Mariam Desalegn, and all our partners whose commitment made this possible, in particular the MasterCard Foundation led by Rita Roy. What you have accomplished here is something transformative, which will benefit not only the students, but also the communities that they come from. Why does a school like this matter? The answer is simple. Africa deserves focus and deep study, and that should be done by you, our youth, and our future. Unlike anywhere else, your education here will challenge you to think critically and practically about how to move our continent forward. This school will prepare you for leadership, but the journey starts from within. You need 3 essential qualities. The first is awareness. Pay attention and observe how Africa is perceived in the world. Is it fair? Is it true? And so on and so forth. Some challenges are inherited, but many are self-inflicted or are allowed to persist through inaction and indifference. Other regions that were once at the same level have surged ahead, yet Africa still struggles with issues that should have been solved decades ago. That should trouble you and ignite a fire within you. The second is responsibility. Value yourself, your country, and your people. You cannot expect the world to take Africa seriously if you do not respect your own role. Do not demand more from others than you do from yourselves. Third, take action. Do not be a spectator. Be prepared to go out and lead, because you are exactly who Africa needs. Globally, economies are shifting. Technology is advancing, and Africa cannot afford to lag behind, not forever. An institution is only as strong as the people it shapes. That means you. Make the most of your time here. Our hope is that soon, when your countries look to you for answers, you will be ready. once again, congratulations. We are counting on you. I wish you the best. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your inspiring message and for instilling a vision of Pan-Africanism in future African leaders. At this stage, we now arrive at the heart of our ceremony, the formal presentation of our ASG students and the administration of the ASG Pledge. Professor Amani El Sharif will now lead our students in the sacred ASG Pledge, which embodies our commitment to excellence, integrity, and service to the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Professor Amani.
First, let me thank Your Excellency for the profoundly inspiring message. And really, we are fortunate to be addressed by a leader whose name is well known for African progress and visionary leadership. And known also for his insight, which is not just words, but lessons drawn from the experiences. So now, Your Excellencies President Paul Kagame and Your Excellency Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, it's my greatest privilege to introduce you to the future leaders before you, the pioneer cohort of the African School of Governance, Master of Public Administration program. Today, we have 51 young women and men coming from 14 African nations, each of them representing the unfolding and realization of your vision for Africa. Pioneers, as you taking your pledge and accept the responsibilities that come with the matriculation, remember that leadership is measured by service, humility, and the courage to do what is right even when it's difficult. I would like to repeat. Leadership is to do what is right when it is difficult, even when it is difficult. May your work honor this institution and the communities you will serve. It's with great optimism that I invite you to take your pledge. Here I will read the pledge, and by the end, you will respond collectively, I commit. Shall we start? Ready? Raise your hand. I pledge to be an exemplary student of the African School of Governance. I shall strive always for academic excellence and uphold the ASG values for a life of purpose and service and to advance the school's good name. I commit to use the opportunity to develop my knowledge, skills, and attitude required to serve Africa's transformation. With the utmost integrity and dedication, I will work towards the Africa we want and promote unity, peace, and prosperity of our continent. Commit? Thank you. Proud to be? Thank you, ASG Pioneer Cohort. Quietly sit down, please. Thank you. Thank you, Excellencies. John? Yes, and now I would like to invite Professor Amafeni, Professor of Health Economics in our school, African School of Governance, to moderate the coming panel. Welcome, Professor Ama. Murakoza.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here, and especially a big thanks to our co-founders of ASG. My heart is just filled with so much gratitude for the commitment that we found in our excellencies. And so this is a favorite part of today's program because the students have so much to ask our excellencies. And so without wasting much time, I'd like to call to the stage our first co-founder, His Excellency Haile Mariam Desalegn. It also gives me so much pride and joy to also call to the stage our co-founder, the President, His Excellency Paul Kagame. Your Excellencies, all week we've been interacting with our students, and they've talked a lot about what their vision is. They've talked about their goals, they've talked about their aspirations, and I must tell both of you that many of them want to become presidents. They are welcome to. Yes, but we also want to set the stage for today's discussion. You must have thought about something deep down within you before this became a reality. I'd like to start first with President Paul Kagame. Can you tell us how this journey started for you?
Well, the journey started with trying to understand who we are, where we come from, what opportunities do we have, what challenges do we have, and what do we do about, as a continent, being able to move forward and be where we need to be. And with also the understanding that our continent, Africa, has everything, in my view, to stand shoulder to shoulder with other continents in the world. But at the same time, we look around, we find there's one thing missing here or there, and in fact, what dominates the scene is that Africa is always an afterthought for people when it comes to putting value where it belongs, talking about people of the different parts of the world. And so, why? We have to ask ourselves this question. And maybe we have been asking ourselves this question for a long time. But what is the problem then, that we remain in a place where many questions are raised about us in terms of really not being who we should be or being where we should be. So the idea then came up that maybe we need to do a lot of introspection, but also especially look to the young people who are our future and see whether there is anything that can be done for them to do things better than we have done and overcome those challenges that have been nearly crippling in a sense, that Africa cannot just remain where it is. We need to move forward. We need to progress like many other parts of the world who were at our level of development or even behind us, but now they are so far ahead of us. So what happened to us? What happened to the continent? What happens to Africa? So if we can have an institution like this, maybe so that people do some soul searching and trying to figure out what is it that we can do to move forward. That's how the journey has been. And let me thank you for, first of all, being here yourself and moderating this, but also thank the co-founder that these ideas were commonly affecting us in terms of how do we do what needs to be done and move forward and stop just talking. And maybe some of the young people we are going to have develop here will find a way of doing things better than we have done. And even if it is out of 10, if you get 5 going the right way and 5 struggling, you still have the 5. So we go with that. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Prime Minister, Your Excellency Hailemariam Desalegn, you also had some thoughts on this journey. Can you share those with us?
First of all, let me begin by thanking His Excellency President Kagame. I did have my role models to become a leader. One of them is President Kagame, but also close to me was my predecessor, Prime Minister Mellas. Both of them, my story would give a very good insight to young leaders here. When they were at the helm of leading both of them in their countries, I was Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, and I was following what they're doing. There has been a deep analytical discussion between the two. As a Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, I was sitting sometimes with them when President Kagame comes to Addis and they discuss about Africa and how we can, transform our continent. That was a big discussion. And they were the ones who were able to bring about, the idea of NEPAD, New Partnership for African Development, because of that analytical discussions that was taking place. I think I know that, and of course, President Kagame also looking for somebody who can take over this, because both of them were in office. And it is very difficult for them to move forward these kind of ideas to action. So when we met and discussed about the past discussions that has been long overdue, I think that has come to the point that we should start this now. And that's where we started. The inspiration came as the president said, some of the countries, especially the ASEAN countries and the Asian, Asian tigers, everybody knows, Singapore, South Korea, even China now, moved in a generation time from rags to riches. But we Africans and African nations, which were better off them in certain period of time before one generation, will still remain, in most cases, in the poverty shackle. And I think the whole idea of this discussion is, it is the mindset which matters. It is the attitude which matters. And it is the leadership which matters. And we do have that leadership deficit and the problem of governance. And our children and our young people should not continue as we were doing. And we should start. Of course, this journey is not just a very short period of journey. We agreed that it's a generational journey, but until we make this critical mass of leaders in our continent, we have to pursue and continue. That was how it began, and thanks to the president, that opportunity was given to me to lead this process, getting directions from him, and I think we are here today. So.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have so many more questions to ask, but today is really not about me or any of us. It's about our students, the MPA Pioneer Cohort. So at this stage, I'm going to open the floor to our students. His Excellency, if you will permit me. Yes. The ground rules are very simple. Keep your questions very brief. Introduce yourself, and then you can go along with your question. So any hands up from our cohort? Yes, I think I see you. William.
Your Excellencies, thank you for gracing us with your presence. My name is Lukudu William from the Republic of South Sudan. My question goes to Your Excellency Kagame. When we hear the term transformative leadership, you are one of the names that would come up to many people's minds. Was there a defining moment or experience that shaped your leadership or philosophy? Murakoze.
There will always be those circumstances, the moments that impact people's lives. Doesn't matter where or whom it happens. I had my own circumstances and background that I was born in and grew up in, and all these have impact on every individual. Briefly, let me try to cut the wrong story. My life story is very long. I try to cut it short. Born here in Rwanda, the family becomes refugee. When I was 4 years old, I grew up in a refugee camp, 20 years, and then other difficult circumstances after that. Yeah, so every moment had impact on me, and at a personal level, I think one has to make a choice, decide. Do I allow difficult circumstances to crush you and you disappear? Or maybe you fight for your chance to live, maybe live as well as you can. So some of the choices I made led me to this point. I cannot count for every day, for every year, but cumulatively I can see that this has been the effect. So it's a learning experience as well. Even in difficult times, don't waste that time. Learn from it. There are lots of lessons in difficult times. There should be lessons in good times too. Meaning, just don't pass the day and the year like that. Take something from it and associate it with a purpose, meaning a purpose of your life. But at the same time, put it in the context of other people's lives, because nobody lives alone without having impact coming from others. And that's how the idea in anybody's mind probably would be formed, to start saying, what do I do? And it increases, the ability increases with the age. Of course, when you're very young, this hasn't formed up yet. So that's really how I was impacted. But I was impacted personally, but the environment, the context, and circumstances I grew up in with others. That's how, with other young people like me at the time, as we were growing up, came together and tried to find ways of fighting back on these challenges and finding our way. Even if you are not sure what is going to be the outcome, the effort is worth the while. You need to put in the effort, and then you live 1 year at a time.
Yes, definitely.
Sometimes you can live 5 at a time if you have a chance. So there are things that depend on people, on individuals. There are things that depend on the context and circumstances people live in. But the person matters, and how you respond to the challenges you meet on an everyday basis. Whether you give up, whether you fight or flee, or it shapes everything. Yeah, that's as much as I can give you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. This is truly a master class in leadership, and I hope our students are taking note. We'll set questions for you. All right. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So any more questions? I still think there are some more hands up. Lady in white? Yes.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. My name is Chido Chashengube. I'm from Zimbabwe, and I'm a proud member of this pioneer cohort. Your Excellency, Prime Minister Desalegn, in your own journey as a transformative leader, what part of leadership have you found most unexpectedly difficult? Thank you.
Leadership is, is always accompanied by challenges. When you address those challenges, I think you get progress. So my difficult moments were how to lead the elites in the party. That I say because, we do have a problem. Our farmers do not have much a problem. And our informal sector actors, they are not so much a problem. Mainly our problem in Africa, and specifically in my own case, comes from the elite. There is a struggle between selfless leadership and commitment and elite capture. So I think that struggle, sometimes it's daunting and very daunting challenge, and if you win, you progress. If you don't, then you take the country back. So I think this was one of the daunting challenges. It is also related to, in Africa, as you said, we are a very diverse continent. And even within each African country, you do have ethnicity, religion, the age diversity, the gender issues. Everything has its own meaning. And especially in my own country, which I always tell to other African countries, I mean, of course, Rwanda also knows it very well, to take seriously the ethnic aspect of the politicization and mobilization. This is very dangerous. And it ended up, in war and fightings and all those things. And I think that was one of the basic things. The second one is standing still, becoming prisoner of the past. Some people, they are not flexible. The world is changing very fast. It's very dynamic, and you need to adapt to those kind of situations. But nonetheless, leaders become stagnant somewhere. And when they stand still, things doesn't move. And that happened in my case. Most of the leaders I worked with were with a communist background. And they continue to be communists while the globe has changed. And that was a daunting challenge, because it's an ideological issue and it's not easy to scrap from their minds. And I think when we talk about mindset, attitude, and all those things that need to be necessary for a transformative leader, we need to think about the ideology that underpins what we are doing. Yeah. And so I think that are the two major challenges I encountered. I can enumerate many, but the outstanding ones are, I might say, these ones.
Thank you very much for being honest and sharing your most difficult moments with us. For those who wanted to be presidents, I'm not sure if you still want to be president. Okay. Your Excellencies, there are more questions, if I have your permission.
Sure.
Yes, I think there's a lady with a nice bun.
Yes. Thank you. My name is Tariba Traore. I am a proud Pioneer Court member from Mali.
Oh, yeah.
My question is for President Kagame. Your Excellency, we the young people think about many things about the future. Employment, peace and security, natural resource management, so much more. My question is, what is that one pressing issue in Africa that keeps you awake at night? Thank you.
Unfortunately, it is not just one. There are so many. But it's difficult. As I said earlier, you keep asking yourself. Now, let me start by saying, as young people growing up, and you said you ask yourselves many questions, and in fact, that's where it starts from. It's good to be asking yourself those questions, but keep also interrogating yourself and saying, if I were the one with responsibility, if I were president, like you said, some of them want to be president, it's not a bad thing, but you have to be prepared to do the right thing. So then you interrogate yourself and say, if I were the one, how would I go about solving that problem? Don't just complain. Don't just criticize. Go beyond that and in you, have a discussion with yourself and say, well, but if I were the one responsible, in charge, I would do this about this problem. So the most challenging situation for me, as you asked me, is to say, what problems do my people have? What do we have to address? Before you go to the rest of the continent, I start with my own situation. And anyway, some of the situations here are similar to what happens in the rest of the continent. So the whole night I'm asking myself, how do we overcome these, some of them existential challenges? How do we, and it's not just about me also thinking I can be the one to address it. It's also about saying, how do we bring Rwandans to understand that each one of them has something to contribute to addressing Rwanda's problems, their own problems. But of course, the bigger challenge is with me, if I'm their leader, to be saying, yes, for the failures of the rest not thinking about what their responsibility and contribution to this is, for them, they have a right to turn around and blame me for everything. So I'm primarily trying to make sure that we find a way of addressing the challenges we have. Poverty, well, you know, our history of division and security and so on and so forth. I can't, an individual, it doesn't matter how good you are, you cannot deliver on them without making everyone else contribute to that and understanding what the problem is and what can be done to address it. So that is my challenge every day. It's thinking, how do we, there are many problems, but how do we get together to make an impact on the outcomes we want to be as good as we want them. It's a general thing. It's not just one particular problem you think about. You think about poverty alone. When there is security here, then there is divisive politics there, then there is dealing with the rest of the world, which is another problem of its own. You see, like in this country, Rwanda, with our history and so on and so forth. Rwanda is a small country. It's 14 million people, very small, geographically heavily, densely populated. But the amount of scrutiny and attention and actually injustice even brought to us by the rest of the world is incredible. So we have to deal with that as well. There are these big challenges of our own we have, then we have another big problem of how the rest of the world Even the big powers, whom you would even think they should have no time to think about us. They should just be ignoring us as, but they really pay attention. And they pay attention for the wrong reasons. Because they want to dictate whether if you're going to walk, you start with your right foot or the left foot. If you're going to have your dinner, what food do you eat? And if you are going to choose leaders, they have their own list of leaders they want to see there. It's something we live with every day. It's a big challenge. So, my friend, the challenges are so many, but you are welcome to think about and aspire to be the president or prime minister, so that I'm not alone or prime minister is not alone in facing these global challenges.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honestly, I can't imagine the number of sleepless nights. I'm surprised you're still here.
But I really have good sleep when I have time. I've never had problems of my sleep. Yeah. I think it's a blessing in a sense.
Great. Thank you so much. I think I'll take one more question, if you will permit me. Any more hands? Okay, I think there's a lady in red. The women are challenging the men today.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. My name is Kevin Kalulakot, and I'm from Uganda. I have a question for both Excellencies. What do you expect from us, the pioneer cohort, and what do you expect from us as the next generation of African leaders? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, President. Yeah, I think the expectation when you finish this course in African School of Governance, I expect you to be self-aware. I mean, understand your core values and see that you can be a selfless leader. And our aim is to see this is my turn to eat, from this is my turn to eat to this is my turn to sacrifice. I think this is it. You know, oftentimes when I travel to some African countries, even the population is saying, you know, this is their turn to eat. I think this mindset has to change. As leaders, we are here to sacrifice and pass through daunting challenges. When the president was saying, I was looking into, when you know that you are the ultimate person which gives the final decision on millions of people's life, that is a very difficult task. And that calls for, you know, somebody who has a clear direction, purpose, who understood his own calling properly, who has searched his soul properly. So I think the school is here to help you to search, but it's you who should be doing that. The school cannot do that. So I think the individuals are the ones who should know it. You should be compassionate. I think it's not just power and authority which matters. It is empowering others to unleash their full potential, to deliver on the cause is much more important. So I think I expect from this cohort, as the first cohort, I'm proud of you because you have chosen ASG, but ultimately it's the beginning of a long journey where you will be also part of that journey, and I want to see at the end that we have selfless leaders who are committed to serve as a servant leaders their own people.
Thank you. Excellency, President.
Well, I'll be short in this. What we expect of whether first court or any others that will come and of the young people is simply, let me treat it in reverse. When you are there, young people, what is your expectation about us? What is it? What do you want us to do vis-a-vis where you want to go or your needs? So by flipping it, you start wondering, put yourself in our positions and then start imagining that you will be the one addressing those problems. So you already have framed what we want of or from you. Yes, it's that responsibility, it's that journey you have to travel to be like leaders you are talking to, in a sense, or addressing the challenges they face in their responsibilities. So put yourself in that, always in that position, even when you are here. That's what I'm saying, doesn't matter what cohort. It's what are you here for? What is the purpose? And therefore, how do you translate? You are not here to just earn a degree or a second degree. There are many people who study, get as many degrees as they can. It's a good thing in itself. But at the same time, there is a much bigger thing, and even better is if you can use this knowledge you have acquired and then deal exactly with the same problems that and challenges we are talking about of individual countries or the continent or other global challenges. How you immerse yourself in making your contribution and having an impact on the process of dealing with the challenges is what we expect from you and the cohorts of different generations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The expectations are very high, and I'm very sure that our cohorts and those to come will make us very proud. Thank you. So I think we'll have a final question. 2 hands. I'm sorry, I may have to favor a woman again. Lady in green.
Excellencies, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Francisca Mujawasi. I'm an MPA pioneer from Rwanda and president of the Student Representative Council. Mine is not a question, but a heartfelt thank you to you, Excellencies, on behalf of the pioneer class. Together we commit to advance excellency, visionary and transformative leadership on the African continent. And we hope that we could expand this conversation in one or several other lectures with you, Excellencies, at the African School of Governance. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
Please.
We're done?
I think we're done.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Prof. Amafeni, for facilitating that insightful panel discussion with Your Excellencies. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the end of this remarkable event, we reflect on what we have witnessed, the birth of a new generation of African leaders committed to transforming governance across our continent. The African School of Governance was founded on the belief that Africa's development depends on the quality of its governance, and that governance depends on the quality of its leaders. Today's ceremony affirms that belief and launches leaders who will make it a reality. As we close this ceremony, we do so with gratitude. Gratitude for the journey that brought us here, for the partnerships that make our work possible, and gratitude for the future that our students will help create. On this note, we declare the African School of Governance MPA Pioneer Cohort Matriculation Ceremony officially closed. Thank you all for being part of this historic moment. We now invite our students and ASG leadership, including the board members, to gather for the official ceremony photographs. We ask the rest of our guests to kindly stay in the room, and we thank you for your patience as we capture these important memories of today's ceremony. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and it has been my pleasure to be your host. Thank you.